I'm known in America and pretty much around the world as the biggest jewel thief in the United States. I robbed between 15 and 18 million dollars in diamonds over a course of about 6 years, 7 years. I ended up going to prison for 4 12-year sentences. In prison, I ended up studying the laws, got my law degree, but I can't be a lawyer. The reason I spent over 3 years in the hole. And the reason that happened was because I was fighting the abuses of the prison system. And now I try to, help people not make the bad choices I did, Spencer, and go to prison. Because I don't ever say in any interview, anything I've ever done, that it was, oh, they did this to me. They didn't. No, I was wrong. I was a gangster. You didn't want to meet me, Spencer, back in those days. I was a rough guy.
You were able to turn your life around, and most people aren't. And you've got yourself stuck into the work that you did to become an honorary policeman, regardless of whether you love, people or police. To me, isn't so significant. What's significant to me is that happens to you. So, what led to that happening? How did that happen? And what great things did you do for that to happen?
We used to see the young kids come to prison, 20 years old, think they're badasses, and all. They're not. And you'd see some bad things happen to them, and their lives are ruined. They get hooked on drugs. They had to have sex. They had to stab somebody so they didn't do something. Whatever it is, their lives were ruined. And I used to say, Ron, when I get out of prison, we got to do something. So I'm out of prison 2-3 weeks, a month, not even. Frank comes up to me and says, hey, Larry, I need a favor. I caught my 16-year-old smoking weed, and he said, F you, Dad. I said, I'll talk to your kid. I walk in, I start showing him pictures. This kid's dead. So first I told him my life story, how I went in, and a big shot doesn't mean anything, blah, blah, blah. Then I start showing him pictures of people dead. Spence, you could see his brain turning. You could totally see it. Come back out. My buddy says, he goes, man, Larry, I really appreciate that. I really do. He gives me $100. At the time, I got no money. I just got out of prison. The government took every dime I had. He calls me back about a week and a half, 2 weeks later. He goes, Larry, you got to keep working with kids. My son came to me and said, Dad, I don't want to go where Mr. Lawton went. I need help. Wow. And then I said, man, thank you. And it made me feel good. And then he says, can I give your name out? I said, sure. So now parents are calling me with their kids, giving me $100. I said, wow, this is great. I'm making $100. So I get a phone call. And I won't forget her name either. Her name is Jean Bandish. She calls and she says, Mr. Lawton, Judge Reimer would like to see you. So I ain't seeing no judge. She goes, no, she'd like to hear what you do. I go, listen, do you have a warrant? So I'm not seeing no judge. I know I'm not doing anything illegal, but I hate judges. I know the system, especially the law. I said, listen, unless you have a warrant, I ain't seen a judge. She goes, no, you're misinterpreting it. She goes, she wants to hear about what you do. She heard the good things you're doing and everything. And I'm like, a little bit like leery. And I said, all right, I do a PowerPoint, 10 slide PowerPoint. They said, would you like to stay for the rest of the meeting? I said, nah, I'm out of here. And they, okay. So I leave. This is a Friday morning. Monday morning comes, I get a phone call. Hey, Mr. Lawton, Judge Ryman sentenced 2 people to your program. What program? I ain't got a program. He sentenced them for money. I go, what? I came up with, after that, which right now is the #1 program in the United States. It's got the highest success rate, quantified, not by me, by colleges. We got a 90% rate of kids not getting rearrested. 70% have better attitudes by their parents. 43% have better school grades. 31% have better school attendance. I developed, it's called the Reality Check program. So as I'm doing this program and the success rates are climbing, newspapers pick it up, parents tell people all of a sudden. And then I get a phone call from Mike Force, Chief Mike Force, been in law enforcement for 40 years, 25 as a chief from St. Louis area. And he says, hey, I heard about your program. I'd like to come down and look at it and all that. Sure, come on down. Came friends. He goes through my program. He's sitting in the program. He's watching other people in the program. He's blown away. So then they calls me. He says, Larry, he goes, I want to do something different. I want to show people that people change. I go, what do you mean? He goes, I want to make you a cop. What? I hate cops. I mean, literally, I say that. You know what? You know how this guy is a police chief? This guy, Mike Force, is a police chief. And what he does is he hires a cop and he says to the cop, why do you want to be a police officer in this city? If that cop doesn't say, I'm here to help the community, he won't hire him. He says, Larry, I could find anybody that could put on handcuffs, shoot a gun, recite the BS that's in the academy. If they don't have the heart and the want to help people, he gives out awards for the cop who changes the most flats, the cop that speaks at the most churches, the cop that goes in and coaches Little League. He doesn't give awards out to the most DUIs, most arrests. Because then I'm going to have all wrong arrests. They want to please the chief. They want to do the wrong thing. You got to give out what you want them to do. You got to incentivize them. Anyway, so then the media hears about it. Everybody hears about it. Congress. Everybody hears about it. Okay, now we're here in 2021. And still, I mean, I'm recognized. I still go TV for all of the criminal stuff, from Casey Anthony in the United States to any people going to prison or criminal robberies, and law enforcement. I'm known as one of the leading law enforcement experts on community policing.
Hopefully you've enjoyed this show. If you want to see more episodes, click over there and you by all means can see some more episodes. But if you click over here, subscribe, hit the bell button, and you'll be notified of every single episode as it is produced. So please go over there and get it done. I'll catch you soon.